So, bulk wine data or private label data in US is still very hard to find, right, publicly because of our 3-tier systems and many other reasons. Give us some insights on, how big is this business of bulk wine? Like how much bulk wine trading happens, how much private label is going on, just share some insights there.
Well, again, the numbers are hard. So for even me to equate it, if I'm selling it to a winery, a bulk wine to a winery, or for a private label gig, or if I'm selling it to them for their own brands, or they're selling it to them for another business transaction, it's hard for me to even quantify a lot of that stuff because we don't know a lot of times where the end product is and where the end product is actually going to end up. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It kind of goes back and forth. Traditionally, 10 so years ago, a majority of wine was moved through a broker. Now, and with consolidation that's happened in California, with the brands and the distribution consolidation that's happened over the last couple of years, that those percentage of numbers has really dwindled down a lot. It's mostly been on a need to buy basis in most cases where bulk wine is happening.
Okay, so let's dissect this, right? Like I want to know really about the type of the customers and type of the people you deal with, right? So there are growers, there are wineries that make wine, and then there are bottlers you may be selling for, or big chains. So give me a scenario of type of the customers and what are the needs normally. Can be buying or selling need, right?
Yeah. It's funny when I first started with CIATTI back in 2004. All my Rolodex consisted of mostly production people, winemakers, lab, cellar workers, maybe a finance person, maybe someone a little bit on the executive side of a winery. Now it ends up being a lot more finance people, executives, presidents, general managers and stuff like that, and have definitely moved somewhere away from the winemaking status of it because it's just the cost of where it's gone. But when we look at some of the deals that happen currently, what's going on in the wine industry today, if you're from a buyer's side, most of the contact is, I need this, I need to refill this, I need to get this program, I need this vintage, and that's a very specific buying degree of what they're going for. They're not going for, I need I want to grow this market, or I want to expand this area, or I want to get into this.
So it's to fill their current demands. That's the number one. And that is currently. And the type of the customer is the winery in this case.
In this case, it's always the winery.
I have, this much of repeat Cabernet sales for my current brand, and now this year it's less vintage, so I'm going to get some bulk wine.
There's always going to be that, especially when we come off the last couple of years here domestically in California, where we've come off some shorter crops. Especially in certain areas, whether you're in Napa or Sonoma, and some people really need to backfill what they missed out on the grapes. So you find your business kind of drawing you towards some of those deals at this point in time.
So I'm just going a little deeper so I understand the business, right? So I guess let's say in Australia, someone make a lot of Shiraz this year. Now they've told you, help us sell Shiraz at the best price we can. For example, that's simple as that, right? Now you're going to reach out to some of your customers around the world, wineries in this case, saying, hey, you need Shiraz to blend and blah, blah, blah. I'll send you some samples, and then maybe back and forth, some tweaks happen. And then is that how you already have a database, I'm imagining, of some buyers with their needs? Like, okay, Todd, every time there is Shiraz, let me know. Or one time there is a price which falls under $1 a gallon, let me know, and so on.
You're getting good at this. Yeah, that's exactly right. That is where we would deal with on the buyer side. We, making sure we have that information easy accessible for us to make sure that when we are talking to the sellers, because obviously we're trying to put two sides of the market together, two sides as a relationship together. You want to make sure you're talking about the right things at the right time. So that we work a lot as brokers to make sure that we have all the buyer information, know exactly where you are, what the cost is, what you need to get out of it, where, and vice versa. You're dealing with the seller and stuff like that, telling them, hey, I don't know if you have a market that's going to exist here. Whatever it is, don't add more additives to it. Let's not put any more oak on the wine. Let's not add costs to it, because we don't know if we're going to recoup those costs. And so we spend a lot of time doing that.